still, the rain has finally stopped. The lightning that illuminated us has long since been dropped. Back into the clouds, the thunder is a memory distant and low. And now there's just the quiet, the debris, the aftermath of the blow. I walk through what we used to be, surveying the damage done. The trees are down, the power's off. The battle has been won by silence, and I am the one who remains picking through the wreckage. I am the one who sifts through the rubble, looking for relief. I am the aftermath, not the storm, not the wind, not the weight. I am the silence after the thunder, the peace after the pain. I am the aftermath. I am what remains when the fury has fled. I am the quiet field where the battle once bled. They ask me if I'm okay, they ask me if I've moved on. They don't understand that the storm may be gone, but the aftermath lives on. For months, for years, for as long as it takes to rebuild. They don't understand that the silence after the storm is not the same as still. It's charged with memory, with the echo of every strike. It's heavy with the weight of everything we used to like. I am the aftermath. I am not the same as before. The storm has changed the landscape. center of my heart. I decorated it with my best parts, my finest art. I lined it with my devotion, cushioned it with my dreams. I polished it with my tears, made it gleam. I placed you on the throne, elevated you above everyone and everything. I worshipped you like love was a religion and you were its deity. I made you the center of my gravity. I built you a throne and you sat on it like a king. You accepted my devotion like it was your birthright. You were everything, you never asked if I had a throne of my own. You never asked if I needed a place to rest my bones. I built you a throne and I knelt to your feet. I gave you my everything, my bitter and my sweet, and you took it all, never once looking down to see that the person kneeling was wearing a crown. I forgot that I was royalty too. I forgot that I had a ring. I forgot that before you I was the queen of my own domain. I had a kingdom, small but sovereign, peaceful and free. I had subjects called my talents, my joys, my sovereignty. But I abdicated my throne the day I built yours. I handed over my scepter, closed my own doors. I thought that loving you meant making you the king. I didn't know that love meant sharing the ruling, not offering everything. I built you a throne and you sat on it like a king. You accepted my devotion like it was your birthright. You're everything, you never asked if I had a throne of my own. You never asked if I needed a place to rest my bones. I built you a throne and I knelt to your feet. I gave you my everything, my bitter and my sweet, and you took it all, never once looking down. I'm taking my throne back, I'm dusting it off, polishing the wood. I'm reclaiming my sovereignty, I'm remembering that I'm good at ruling my own kingdom. I'm remembering that I don't need a king to validate my reign. I am the queen of my own everything. I built you a throne, but I'm dismantling it now, piece by piece, cushion by cushion, dream by dream. I built you a throne, but I'm rebuilding my own, not in the center of my heart. My heart is not a castle with one throne. My heart is a round table, and I sit at the head. I built you a throne, but I'm taking my seat at my own table now. And I'm not kneeling for anyone, not anymore. I used to collect your noise, your laughter, your voice, your sighs, the way you'd hum in the shower, the way you clear your throat before goodbyes. I used to collect your sound, the evidence of your presence in this space. I hoarded every conversation, every whisper, every trace. But now you're gone and the noise has left with you. The house is silent, the rooms are still, the air is something new. And I've become a collector collector of a different kind of thing. I collect the quiet now, I collect the silence that you bring. I collect the quiet now, the hush of morning without you, the sound of coffee brewing for and the absence of your review of the dead. I collect the silence of the dinner table, the empty chair, the empty plate, the empty fable of us. I collect the quiet of the bed at night, the missing rhythm of your breath, the missing of your light. I collect the quiet now. It's the only sound you left, it's the only thing of yours I have that hasn't been bereft. The quiet has its own texture, its own weight, its own design. Some days it's soft and velvety, almost kind, almost benign. Some days it's sharp and jagged, cutting into my skin. Some days it's just the absence of the noise that should have been. I catalog its variations, its moods, its subtle shifts. I become an expert in the silence, in the drifting, in the rifts. I can tell you the exact decibel of a house without your voice. I can tell you the exact frequency of silence by my choice. I collect the quiet now, the hush of morning without you, the sound of coffee brewing for and the absence of your review of the day ahead. I collect the silence of the dinner table, the empty chair, the empty plate, the empty fable of us. I collect the quiet of the bed at night, the missing rhythm of your breath, the missing of your light. I collect the quiet now. It's the only sound you left, it's the only thing of yours I have that hasn't been bereft. But I'm learning that quiet is not the same as empty. Quiet is not the same as nothing. Quiet can be plenty. Quiet is a space where new sounds can be made. Quiet is the canvas on which my own voice can be laid. I collect the quiet now, but I'm not just collecting. I'm creating, I'm filling the silence with my own sounds, my own voice, my own song. I collect the quiet now, but I am not quiet. I am learning to speak, to hum, to laugh, to fill the space with me. I collect the quiet now, but I am not quiet. I am becoming my own noise. I thought the ache I felt when you were gone was love. I thought the emptiness that only you could fill was proof of something sacred, something fated, something written in the stars. I felt the way I couldn't breathe without you meant that we were ours. But now I see clear in the clarity of your absence. The ache wasn't love, it was need. The emptiness wasn't devotion, it was dependence. I didn't love you, I needed you to complete me, to make me whole. I didn't see you, I saw the solution to the problem of my soul. I mistook need for love, a common quiet crime. thought that desperation was devotion, that hunger was a sign of something deep and true. But need is not love, need is a leak in the vessel of the self. Need is the evidence of being weak. I mistook need for love. I thought if I couldn't live without you, that meant you were the one. But it just meant I didn't know how to live without a crutch. I mistook need for love, and by the time I learned the difference, you were already gone, and I was left with the evidence. I used to say I can't imagine my life without you in it. I thought there was romance, poetry, love's infinite expression. But now I hear the desperation underneath the phrase. It wasn't love, it was terror. It wasn't devotion, it was a haze of dependency. I had outsourced my happiness to your keeping. I had made you responsible for the parts of me that needed reaping. And so when I had forgotten that a whole person doesn't need another to be complete, a whole person loves from wholeness, not from the hunger of the incomplete. I mistook need for love, a common quiet crime. I thought that desperation was devotion, that hunger was a sign of something deep and true. But need is not a love, need is a leak in the vessel of the self. Need is the evidence of being weak. I mistook need for love. I thought if I couldn't live without you, that meant you were the one. But it just meant I didn't know how to live without a crutch. I mistook need for love, and by the time I learned the difference, you were already gone, and I was left with the evidence. I'm learning to be whole on my own now, to fill my own leaks, to be the solution to my own problems, to find my own peaks. And maybe when I'm whole, I love again, not from need, but from choice, not from desperation, but from the overflow of my own quiet voice. I mistook need for love. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. I was doing the best I could with the tools I had. I mistook need for love, but now I know the difference. Need says I can't live without you. Love says I choose to live with you. But I could live without you, and I'd still be whole. I mistook need for love, but I'm learning to love from wholeness, to love from overflow, to love from choice. And that is real love. That is the love I always wanted to give.
I used to think I knew you, your voice, your words, your way. I thought if I listened carefully enough, you'd have nothing left to say, that I wouldn't understand. I was fluent in your language, your dialect, your tone. I could translate your pauses, your hesitations, your groan. But then you stopped speaking, not all at once but slow. Your sentences grew shorter, Your story stopped at flow. You answered questions with one word. You volunteered no more, and I was left with silence, standing at your door. I've been learning your silence, the language of your retreat, the grammar of your absence, the vocabulary of obsolete. I've been studying the spaces between the words you used to say. I've been memorizing the shape of your withdrawal day by day. Your silence has its own syntax, its own rhythm, its own rhyme. It's a language I never wanted to learn, but I've been studying full time. I've been learning your silence, and what I've learned breaks my heart. Your silence says you've already left. Your silence says we're apart. At first I thought it was temporary. You were tired, stressed, or sad. I gave you space, I gave you time. I tried not to be mad. I thought the silence was a season, a winter of the tongue. I thought that spring would come again, that the words would be resung. But the silence deep and spread became a permanent state. It became the climate of our love, the weather of our fate. And I realized with a clarity that cut me to the core that you weren't struggling to speak, you just had nothing to say anymore. I've been learning your silence, the language of your retreat, the grammar of your absence, the vocabulary of obsolete. I've been studying the spaces between the words you used to say. I've been memorizing the shape of your withdrawal day by day. Your silence has its own syntax, its own rhythm, its own rhyme. It's a language I never wanted to learn, but I've been studying full time. I've been learning your silence, and what I've learned breaks my heart. Your silence says you've already left. Your silence says we're apart. I don't need to learn your silence anymore. I'm fluent now. I hear everything you're not saying. I understand the vow of emptiness you've taken, and I'm releasing myself from the clutch. I don't need to study your withdrawal. Learning your silence, I got my PhD in goodbye. I mastered the subjunctive of maybe. I aced the conditional of why. Learning your silence, but I'm dropping out now. I don't need to know what you're not saying. I don't need to translate your retreat. Silence, I'm calling my own voice now. And it's not silent, it's not waiting, it's silent, it's speaking in the silence. I'm learning your silence. We've said I love you so many times, the words have lost their way. They've become automatic, a habit, a response to our shared fate. We've said I'm sorry until the apology is just a sound. We've said it's okay when it's not, when we're both still bound to the resentment. We said we need to talk and then said nothing at all. We said I miss you from separate rooms, from separate falls. The dictionary of our love is dogged, worn and thin. definitions have blurred, the language has grown dim. This is love's exhausted language, the vocabulary of the end. The words we used to build us up are the words we now spend on maintenance, on survival, on just getting through the day. I love you means I'm still here. I'm sorry means I wish you'd stay. I miss you means I miss who we were before the words ran out. We need to talk means I'm full of doubt. Love's exhausted language, we've used the same phrases for years, and now they're just sounds we made to distract us from the tears. I remember when I love you was a discovery, not a reply. When it was a revelation, a gift, a reason to fly. I remember when I'm sorry was a bridge, not a bandage on a wound. When it was a beginning, not the echo of a doom. I remember when our language was alive, was new, was ours. Now it's just the same old phrases, the same rhetorical powers. We speak in cliches of devotion and platitudes of care. We've forgotten how to say what we actually bear. This is love's exhausted language, the vocabulary of the end. The words we used to build us up are the words we now spend on maintenance, on survival, on just getting through the day. I love you means I'm still here. I'm sorry means I wished from this day. Exhausted language anymore. I don't wanna say I love you when it's just a chore. I wanna learn a new vocabulary, a new way to express what I feel. But I'm so tired, I don't know if I have the willingness. Love's exhausted language, I'm closing the dictionary, I'm silencing the phrases, I'm letting the silence be my tongue. Love's exhausted language, I don't know what to say anymore, so I say nothing. And in the nothing, maybe something new can grow. Love's exhausted language, I'm learning that silence can be its own kind of truth, its own kind of love, its own kind of beginning. Fell in love so fast, I forgot we were falling at all. I forgot there was a ground, a bottom, a terminal wall. I forgot that gravity always wins, that what goes up must come down. I was so high on you, so weightless, wearing your crown. We accelerated together, a tandem skydive of the heart. I thought we'd fall forever and never tear apart, but you deployed your parachute and I kept falling alone. You floated gently to the ground, I hit terminal velocity's boom. This is love's terminal velocity, the fastest fastest I can fall without the drag of your devotion, without your parachute, without your call. And I'm plummeting toward the ground, and you're already standing there. You landed softly, walked away, left me in the air. Love's terminal velocity, the speed of my descent, the rate at which my heart accelerates. When my hope is spent, I've reached the maximum speed of grief. I can't fall any faster than this. Love's terminal velocity, the physics of abyss. I used to think the falling was the best part of the ride, the wind in my hair, the blur of the world, the thrill of you by my side. But now I know that falling is just a prelude to the hit. The landing is what matters, the landing is where you quit. You stuck the landing graceful, perfect, no broken bones, no scars. You walked away from the impact zone, walked away from the stars we were falling through. You didn't even look back to see if I was still falling, still reaching, still needing you to catch me. This is love's terminal velocity, the fastest I can fall without the drag of your devotion, without your parachute, without your call. I'm plummeting toward the ground, and you're already standing there. You landed softly, walked away, left me in the air. Love's terminal velocity, the speed of my descent, the rate at which my heart accelerates. When my hope is spent, I've reached the maximum speed of grief. I can't fall any faster than this. Love's terminal velocity, the physics of abyss. But here's the thing about terminal velocity, it's not the end, it's the point where the falling becomes stable, where the descent begins to bend toward equilibrium. It's the moment when the fear of falling turns into the acceptance of flight. It's the moment when I stop calling. Love's terminal velocity, I'm not falling anymore. I'm flying, I've leveled out, I found my own drag, my own lift, my own direction. Love's terminal velocity, I'm not waiting for you to catch me. I'm catching myself, and it turns out I'm a pretty good catch. Love's terminal velocity, stop falling, I'm flying, and the view from up here is beautiful. You told our story to everyone who would listen. You were the hero, the victim, the one who is always missing. The recognition you deserved, you painted yourself as the martyr, the one who tried and tried and tried, while I was just the starter for fights, the one who never appreciated you. You told our story with such conviction, such sorrow, such virtue, and everyone believed you, why wouldn't they? You're so convincing, you're so good at making yourself the one who should be evincing sympathy. You're so good at making me the villain of the piece. You told our story, but you only told your half, you only told your least. This is my half of the story, the side you never tell, the nights I waited up for you, the mornings I wished you well. Despite the silence, the
times I bit my tongue so hard I bled. The times I spoke and you never heard. This is my half of the story, the half you left on the floor, the half you edited out of your narrative, the half you chose to ignore. You told our story like it was yours alone to tell, but this is my half, and I'm finally ready to spell it out. I'm finally ready to speak my truth. This is my half of the story. This is the evidence of my youth. You never mentioned the time you forgot my birthday again and again. You never mentioned the way you dismiss my fears, my pain. You never mentioned the times I asked you to get help and you refused. You never mentioned the promises you made and then excused. You never mentioned the nights I cried myself to sleep and you slept on. You never mentioned the mornings I woke up and you were already gone. In spirit, if not in body. You never mentioned the slow, quiet death of us. You never mentioned that you took the last breath. This is my half of the story. It's hard, bitter, it's not vengeful, it's just true. My half of the story. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm not asking you to apologize. I'm just telling it because it's mine to tell, and I've been silent long enough. My half of the story. You told yours, now I'm telling mine, and the truth is, neither of us is the villain, neither of us is the hero. We were just two people who loved each other badly, and that's not a story with a villain. It's just a story with an ending. My half of the story begins. I used to be open 24/7, a diner in a small town. Always lit, always welcoming, always ready to sit you down. I serve love on demand at any hour of the day or night. I never closed, never rested, never turned off the light. You came in at 3 a.m., hungry and tired and cold. I warmed you up, fed you, believed every story you told. You stayed for hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks, and then you'd leave and I'd clean the table and wait for you to speak. But now my heart is a closed sign, swinging in the wind. The doors are locked, the lights are off, the business has rescinded its invitation. I'm not serving love anymore, I'm not open for trade, I'm not available for walk-ins for the promises you made and broke. My heart is a closed sign, a permanent iron decree. No entry, no service, no, you know me. My heart is a closed sign, and I am the one who locked the door. It's not that I don't miss the business, I miss the hum and the flow.
I miss the customers, the regulars, the ebb and the glow of connection. I miss the feeling of being needed, of being the place where people came to warm themselves, to rest, to find grace. But you bankrupted me, you overstayed, underpaid, abused the trust. You left me with empty tables and a business model turned to dust. And I can't afford to reopen, I can't afford to risk another customer like you. I can't afford to be dismissed. But now my heart is a closed sign, swinging in the wind. The doors are locked, the lights are off, the business has rescinded its invitation. I'm not serving love anymore, I'm not open for trade, I'm not available for walk-ins for the promises you made and broke. My heart is a closed sign, a permanent iron decree. No entry, no service, no, you know me. My heart is a closed sign, and I am the one who locked the door. I am the one who turned the key. I am the one who keeps the score. But a closed sign doesn't mean closed forever, it means closed for now. It means closed until I figure out how and when and to whom and wow. I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready to open my doors again. But I'm not saying never, I'm just saying when. My heart a closed sign, it doesn't say never, it says not yet, it says I'm healing. It says I'm not ready to forget what it cost me to be open. My heart a closed sign, but one day maybe I'll flip it over. One day maybe I'll unlock the door. One day maybe I'll let someone in, but not today, today. The sign says close, and that's okay. That's more than okay. That's self-care, that's self-love. That's me. My heart a closed sign, and I am the keeper of the key. You stood at the edge of us, a torch in your hand. You look back at the structure we built across this land. Years of construction, careful planning, shared design. And you held the flame near the foundation, watched the first thread of twine catching, curling, blacking. You watched the bridge you built with me begin to smoke, begin to splinter, begin to cease to be. You didn't hesitate, you didn't try to put it out. You just stood there watching, silent, full of doubt. And now I'm standing on the shore of the bridge you burned. The smoke is still rising, the lesson is still unlearned. How could you destroy something we spent so long to make? How could you burn the only path back for your own sake? The bridge you burned was not just mine, it was yours too. It was the road back to each other, the route we always knew. But you set it on fire and you watched it fall into the sea. And now there's no way back to you, no way back to me. I used to think that if you ever wanted to return, you could, the bridge was there, solid, steady, built to earn. Your safe passage home, I kept it maintained. Swept the debris of our arguments, patched the holes in the history of us. I thought if you ever decided to cross back over the divide, the bridge would be waiting, the bridge would be open wide. But you didn't want a bridge, you wanted an ending, clean and absolute. You didn't want a path back, you wanted to be mute. And now I'm standing on the shore of the bridge you burned. The smoke is still rising, the lesson is still unlearned. How could you destroy something we spent so long to make? How could you burn the only path back for your own sake? The bridge you burned was not just mine, it was yours too. It was a road back to each other, the route we always knew. But you set it on fire and you watched it fall into the sea. And now there's no way back to me. I'm not building another bridge, I'm not waiting on the shore. I'm turning away from the water, from the wreckage, from the war. I'm walking inland where the ground is solid and the air is clear. I'm done waiting for someone who chose to disappear. The bridge you burned, I'm not rebuilding it. I'm not standing on the shore, waiting for you to admit that you made a mistake. The bridge you burn, I'm walking away from the water. Let the smoke clear on its own, let the ashes settle. I have other places to go, other bridges to build with people who don't carry torches, people who know how to hold. The bridge you burned, it was beautiful while it lasted, but I don't need it anymore. I don't need a way back to you, I need a way forward, yo, yeah. I speak to the empty rooms, and they speak back to me. Not in words, but in echoes and acoustics, and the debris of sound that bounces off the walls where your voice used to live. I say your name and the room returns it, a phonetic sieve that catches only the shape of you, not the substance, not the weight. The echo is my company now, my familiar, my fate. I hold conversations with the air, with the absence of your reply. I ask questions and the silence answers with a sigh. The echo is my company, the ghost of your sound. It follows me from room to room. It's the only one around that knows the cadence of your speech, the rhythm of your breath. It knows the sound of your arrival and the silence of your death. The echo is my company, it's not you, I know. It's just the memory of your voice, the after image of your glow. But it's here, and it's steady, and it doesn't leave. And sometimes that's enough for me to believe. I've stopped trying to make new
sounds. I just repeat the old. I replay conversations we had, the stories that we told. I say the things you used to say in the tone you used to use. I become a record player stuck on the same groove, the same muse. Hello, I say the way you said it when you came home from work. I love you in the sleepy voice you used when you didn't want to irk. The morning goodnight in the whisper you reserve for the dark. I've memorized your vocal chords, I've memorized your every mark. The echo is my company, the ghost of your sound. It follows me from room to room. It's the only one around that knows the cadence of your speech, the rhythm of your breath. It knows the sound of your arrival and the silence of your death. The echo is my company, it's not you, I know. It's just the memory of your voice, the after image of your glow. But it's here and it's steady and it doesn't leave. And sometimes that's enough for me to believe. But echoes fade, even the most persistent sound eventually loses its shape, loses its resonance, loses its ground. I've noticed lately that your voice is harder to recall. The echo is getting quieter, the company is growing small. The echo is my company, but it's fading now. Your voice is becoming a whisper, a rumor, a row of diminishing returns. The echo is my company, but soon I will be alone. No sound, no ghost, no memory of your tone. The echo is my company, but I am learning to keep my own company now, to fill the silence with my own voice, my own sound, my own echo. The echo is my company, but I am becoming my own company. And that is enough. I remember the last good day. It was a Sunday in October. The light was gold and honey, the sky was white and sober. We went for a drive, windows down, music playing something old. You held my hand on the gear shift, and I felt bold. We stopped at that diner, the one with the blue plate specials. You ordered pancakes, I ordered eggs. We split the essentials. You made me laugh until I cried, a real deep belly laugh. I didn't know it was the last good day. I didn't know it was the half. The last good day, I didn't know it was the last. I thought there would be hundreds more, a future vast and full of Sundays. I thought the good days were the rule, not the exception. I thought we were just beginning, not already cool. And the last good day, I replayed it 1,000 times in my head. I've examined every moment, every word you said. I've tried to find the clue, the hint, the sign that it was ending. But the last good day was just a good day. No foreshadowing, no pending. We took a picture that day. You have your arm around me. We're both smiling genuinely, like we're actually happy. I keep that picture on my phone, even now, even still. It's the evidence that we were once capable of good. The next day was when you started pulling away just a little. The next week was when the silence began to whittle away at us. The next month was when I knew something was wrong. But that Sunday in October, we were still singing our song. The last good
a good day. I don't think there's a lesson here. I don't think there's something I should have seen. I think sometimes good days are just good days, and they don't have to mean something ominous. I think the last good day was a gift, not a trap. It was a day of grace, not a day of the map. The last good day, I don't want it anymore. I celebrated it. I'm grateful that we had it. I'm grateful that we laughed. I'm grateful that the light was gold and your hand was in mine. The last good day, it wasn't the beginning of the end. It was just a good day, and good days matter. Even when they're the last, especially when they're the last. The last good day, I'll keep it in my pocket, a smooth, warm stone of memory. The last good day. Thank you for it. Thank you for that Sunday. Thank you for the gold light. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you for the last good day. Held it in my hands like water, like sand, like smoke. I cut my palms around it, try to keep it from going broke. But love is not a thing you hold, it's a thing that passes through. It's a guest, not a resident, it's a temporary view. I tried to build a house for it, a fortress, a solid cage. I thought if I just contained it, it wouldn't turn a page and leave. I thought if I just loved you hard enough, you'd stay. I thought my devotion was a lock and you were the key that would obey. This is a love I couldn't keep, no matter how I tried. I watered it with tears, I fed it with my pride. I sang to it at night, I prayed to it at dawn. But love is not a garden, it's a wild thing, quickly gone. This is the love I couldn't keep, the bird that flew away. I opened my hands to show you when you flew out on the day. I thought you'd finally settled, I thought you'd finally found your nest. But love is not a perch, love is a constant, winged unrest. I don't blame you for leaving, I blame my own grip. I held too tight, too desperate, too afraid of the slip that was inevitable. I thought if I just held on harder, squeezed with all my might, you'd have no choice but to stay with me, to stay within my sight. But holding too tight is not love, it's fear dressed up as care. It's not devotion, it's desperation. It's not a prayer, it's a snare. And you, my love, were never meant to be caged or confined. You were always meant to be wild, always meant to be undefined. This is the love I couldn't keep, no matter how I tried. I watered it with tears, I fed it with my pride. I sang to it at night, I prayed to it at dawn. But love is not a garden, it's a wild thing, quickly gone. This is the love I couldn't keep, the bird that flew away. I opened my hands to show you when you flew out on the day. I thought you finally settled, I thought you finally found your nest. But love is not a perch, love is a constant, winged unrest. I'm learning to love with open hands now, not to hold but to release, not to capture but to welcome, not to own but to increase. The space between us, I'm learning that love is not a possession. It's a blessing, it's a lesson, it's a temporary, beautiful session. The love I couldn't keep, I thought it was my failure, but maybe
to stay. Some loves are meant to fly. The love I couldn't keep was never meant to be mine. To keep it was just mine. To hold for a while, and that's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything. The love I couldn't keep, I'm learning to let it go. And in the letting go, I'm learning to keep myself. You told me my wounds were beautiful, my scars were works of art. You traced them with your fingers, said they set my heart apart. You said the cracks in my armor let the light shine through. You said my broken places were what made me true, and I believed you. I showed you all my tender hidden places. I let you study my fractures, my failures, my disgraces. I thought you were an artist, a sculptor of the soul. I thought you saw my damage and wanted to make me whole. But the scars you called art were just wounds you wanted to paint. You weren't trying to heal me, you were trying to make me quaint. You weren't trying to mend the fractures, you were trying to frame them on the wall. You weren't trying to catch my fall, you were trying to document the fall. The scars you called art were just evidence for your collection. You were a collector of broken things, seeking my perfection and imperfection. But I am not a canvas for your gallery. I am not your art project, I am not your victory. You never asked if I wanted to be exhibited, displayed. You never asked if I wanted my wounds to be the grade by which you measured your compassion, your depth, your care. You never asked if I wanted my scars to be the wear and tear of your portfolio. You just assumed that your attention was a gift, not a violation. You just assumed your invention of me was an improvement, not a reduction. You just assumed that your vision was my instruction. But the scars you called art were just wounds you wanted to paint. You weren't trying to heal me, you were trying to make me quaint. You weren't trying to mend the fractures, you were trying to frame them on the wall. You weren't trying to catch my fall, you were trying to document the fall. The scars you called art were just evidence for your collection. You were a collector of broken things, seeking my perfection and imperfection. But I am not a canvas for your gallery. I am not your art project, I am not your victory. I am not broken, I'm not a collection of wounds. I am a whole person, not defined by the ruins of my past. My scars are not my identity. They are just evidence that I survived. They are just proof that I am free. The scars you called art, they're not for your gallery, they're not for your collection, they're not for your validation. The scars you called art, they are mine. They are the map of my survival. They are the evidence of my resilience. The scars you called art, I don't need you to frame them. I don't need you to validate them. They are beautiful not because you saw them. They are beautiful because I survived them. The scars you called art. I am the artist now, and I am painting something new, something whole, something that doesn't need to be broken to be beautiful. To be beautiful.
in the closet today. The one I never touched, the one where I keep the evidence of you. The closet of your clutch on my life inside, hanging neatly pressed and clean and still, is the wardrobe of your lies, the fabric of your will. I love you suit, tailored perfectly, worn on special occasions. The I'll change shirt worn so often, showing signs of erasures and evasions. That you're the only one, jacket a little tight across the chest. The I'm sorry tie, knotted and reknotted, never resting, never at rest. The wardrobe of your low lies, hanging in my closet still. I haven't had the heart to donate to purse to kill the memory of you and them. I haven't had the strength to clear the closet of your deceptions, to let them disappear. Each garment is a promise you made and then unmade. Each fabric is a debt you incurred and never paid. The wardrobe of your lies, I've been the keeper of your clothes. I've been the curator of the fiction of the life we chose. I'll be there, vest is frayed at the edges, worn thin from use. The I'm trying cardigan is missing buttons, showing signs of abuse. The forever overcoat is moth-eaten, full of holes. The I need you dressing gown has lost its warmth, lost its soul. I used to dress in these lies, I used to wear them every day. I thought if I just put them on, they keep the cold at bay. I thought if I just believed the fabric, believed the cut and seam, I could make your lies true, I could make your promises redeem. The wardrobe of your lies, hanging in my closet still. I haven't had the heart to donate to purse to kill the memory of you, and I haven't had the strength to clear the closet of deceptions, to let them disappear. Each garment is a promise you made and then unmade. Each fabric is a debt you incurred and never paid. The wardrobe of your lies, I've been the keeper of your clothes. I've been the curator of the fiction of the life we chose. Today I'm taking them down piece by piece, hanger by hanger. I'm piling them on the bed, these remnants of your danger. I'm not donating them, I'm not passing on your lies. I'm taking them to the backyard, I'm building a fire, I'm saying goodbye. The wardrobe of your lies, I'm burning it now. The I love you suit, the I'll change shirt, the you're the only one jacket, all of it up in smoke. The wardrobe of your lies, the fire is warm. It's the first time your lies have ever kept me warm. The wardrobe of your lies, I'm watching it turn to ash, and with it the fiction of us, of you, of our past. The wardrobe of your lies, I don't need it anymore. I have my own clothes now, and they fit, and they're true, and they're mine. I've been living in a state of for now since the day you left. Everything temporary, everything provisional, everything bereft of permanence. I don't buy fresh flowers, they'll just die. I don't make long-term plans.
friends. I don't wanna know why. I won't be there to see them through. I don't commit to futures. I become a master of provisional living, of tentative sutures that hold my life together, just enough to get by. I'm living in the interim, waiting for the other shoe to drop from the sky. This permanent image, this endless waiting state. I'm always on the verge of beginning, always arriving too late to my own life. I'm always in the lobby, never in the room. I'm always in the waiting, never in the bloom. This permanent I thought it was temporary, this pause. I thought I was just catching my breath, just finding the cause of my hesitation. But the pause has become the pattern, the interim has become the stay. I've been living in the waiting room of my own life every day. I keep my suitcase packed just in case I need to leave. Just in case another departure happens, just in case I need to grieve in a different city. I don't hang pictures on the walls, I don't plant perennials in the garden, I don't answer calls from friends asking me to commit to events 6 months away. I say I'll let you know, and I mean I hope I'm okay by then. But I don't know if I will be, I don't know if I'll still be here. This permanent interim has taught me that permanence is just fear dressed up as security. I've learned that everything is. So why bother beginning? Why bother making friends? This permanent interim, this endless waiting state. I'm always on the verge of beginning, always arriving too late to my own life. I'm always in the lobby, never in the room. I'm always in the waiting, never in the bloom. It's permanent in him. I thought it was temporary, this pause. I thought I was just catching my breath, just finding the cause of my hesitation. But the pause has become the pattern, the interim has become the state. I've been living in the waiting room of my own life every day. But yesterday I bought a Plan A small one, a succulent, easy to keep. I put it on the windowsill where the sun hits, where it's not too deep in shadow. And I thought this plant might die or it might live, but either way I'm choosing to care for it. Either way I'm choosing to give a shit about something that might not last. And that's the point, isn't it? Not to wait for permanence, but to love was here in this minute. This permanent interim, maybe it's not permanent, maybe it's just now. And now is not forever, but now is not nothing. This permanent interim, I'm buying flowers, I'm making plans, I'm hanging pictures, I'm living my life as if it matters, because it does. This permanent interim, I'm done waiting for my life to begin. It began a long time ago, I just wasn't paying attention. This permanent interim, I'm checking it. I'm here, I'm finally here. The morning you left, you drew the curtains closed, not as a gesture of leaving, not as a symbolic pose. You just said the light was too bright, it was hurting your eyes.
eyes. You said it was too early for such a bright, relentless skies. I didn't think a thing of it. I helped you pull the cord. I watched the fabric swallow light, watched the room get dim and flawed with shadow. I thought it was practical, I thought it was just a day. I didn't know you were teaching the room how to live in gray. You drew the curtain, and they've been closed ever since. The light comes through the edges now, a thin anemic rinse of brightness. The room has learned to live in permanent eclipse. The furniture is faded, the color from the walls has slipped. You drew the curtains and I haven't had the strength to pull them back. I'm afraid of what the light will show me, afraid of what I lack. You drew the curtains and I've been living in the dark you made. I've been living in the shadow of the choice that you display. I walk past the window every day. My hand hovers near the cord. Some days I almost touch it, some days I almost can't afford to let the light in. But then I remember your face glinting in the sun. I remember how you said the brightness made your leaving come too soon. I remember that the curtains were the last thing that you touched, and I can't bring myself to open them. I can't bring myself to clutch at something you deliberately closed. It feels like a betrayal of your final quiet instruction. It feels like I would fail. You drew the curtains and they've been closed ever since. The light comes through the edges now, a thin anemic rinse of brightness. The room has learned to live in permanent eclipse. The furniture is faded, the color from the walls has slipped. You drew the curtains and I haven't had the strength to pull them back. I'm afraid of what the light will show me, afraid of what I lack. You drew the curtains and I've been living in the dark you made. I've been living in the shadow of the choice that you display. Today I touched the cord, I didn't pull it, just held it in my hand. It felt like holding a ghost, like trying to understand the weight of your departure. I stood there for an hour, feeling the fabric between my fingers, and I realized that the dark you made is not a place where my heart lingers. By choice it's a prison, and you are not the warden anymore. You're just a memory, and I am standing at the door. You drew the curtains, but I am opening them now, slowly, carefully. The light is bright. It hurts my eyes, but it's a good hurt, it's a live hurt. You drew the curtains, but I am drawing them back. The light comes in, the dust dances, the room remembers what it is to be seen. You drew the curtains, but I am the one who opens them now. I am the one who chooses the light.
arrived without warning, a change in the pressure in the air. The sky turned green with possibility. The wind grew wild with care. I felt you coming before I saw you, a charge in my veins. You were the kind of weather that rewrites all the maps, rearranges all the planes. I should have sought shelter, I should have gone inside, but I was transfixed by your approach, mesmerized by the tide of you. So I stood in the open arms, outstretched, face to the sky. I let you rain all over me, I let you have your try. You were a beautiful storm, magnificent and wild. You broke the drought of my heart, you ruined the calm, you revived the stillness I had cultivated. You were thunder and lightning and wind, and I loved every second of the chaos you brought, my friend. You were a beautiful storm, but storms don't last forever. The lightning fades, the thunder rolls away, the weather changes. You were a beautiful storm, and I don't regret the rain, but I'm still here in the aftermath, learning to live with the pain. You swept through my life with the force of a hurricane, category 5. You uprooted everything I thought was solid, everything I thought would survive. Your passage, you flooded the basements of my doubt. You knocked down the walls of my fear. You left me breathless and drenched and trembling, but also strangely clear. You showed me what it was to feel completely, to be utterly exposed. You showed me that even the strongest structures can be quickly, quietly closed. And then you moved on, as storms do to other towns, other shores. You left me with the wreckage, with the closed and broken doors. You were a beautiful storm, magnificent and wild. You broke the drought of Mars, you ruined the calm, you revived the stillness I had cultivated. You were thunder and lightning and wind, and I loved every second of the chaos you brought, my friend. You were a beautiful storm, but storms don't last forever. The lightning fades, the thunder rolls away, the weather changes. You were a beautiful storm, and I don't regret the rain, but I'm still here in the aftermath, learning to live with the pain. The insurance adjusters of the heart don't cover acts of love. There's no policy for the damage done when push comes to shove. So I'm paying for the repairs myself, with time and tears and grace. I'm rebuilding my structure stronger, with a better foundation in place. You were a beautiful storm, I don't regret you, I don't regret the rain, I don't regret the damage, I don't regret the pain. You were a beautiful storm, and I am the landscape you forever changed. Not ruined, not destroyed. Change is not the enemy. Change is the evidence that I was alive when you passed through. You were a beautiful storm, and I am still standing, still green, still growing, still here.
used to think silence was the absence of sound, an empty frequency, a blank space, neutral and unbound. But you taught me that absence has its own particular tone. Your absence is a sound I've come to know, to fear, to own. It's the hum of the refrigerator that you're not here to hear. It's the creak of the floorboards without the weight of you near. It's the tick of the clock that you used to complain was too loud. Your absence is a sound. It's the loudest thing in the crowd. Your absence is a sound, a frequency of grief. It's the echo of your laughter, the ghost of your relief. It's the silence where your key should turn, the quiet where your voice should be. Your absence is a sound, and it's been playing constantly. It's the soundtrack of my solitude, the score of my regret. It's the note that never resolves, the chord that hasn't met its resolution. Your absence is a sound, and I've memorized its key. It plays in the key of always leaving, in the key of never me. I hear it in the morning when the alarm goes off for one. I hear it in the evening when the day is over and done. I hear it in the conversations where your name doesn't come up. I hear it in the bottom of my empty coffee cup. It's not a loud sound, not a crashing or a scream. It's a subtle, persistent note, like the theme of a recurring dream. It's the background radiation of your departure, the static of your flight. Your absence is a sound, and it plays both day and night. Your absence is a sound, a frequency of grief. It's the echo of your laughter, the ghost of your relief. It's the silence where your key should turn, the quiet where your voice should be. Your absence is a sound, and it's been playing constantly. It's the soundtrack of my solitude, the score of my regret. It's the note that never resolves, the chord that hasn't met its resolution. Your absence is a sound, and I've memorized its key. It plays in the key of always leaving, in the key of never me. But sounds can fade, frequencies can shift and change. The hum of the refrigerator can become just background range. The creak of the floorboards can become just the house settling in. Your absence is a sound, but it doesn't have to be the din that drowns out everything else. I'm learning to turn down the volume. I'm learning to hear the sound, to let other frequencies consume. Your absence is a sound, but it's not the only sound. I hear the birds in the morning, I hear the rain on the ground. And Someday maybe it will fade into the background of a life that is full of other sounds. Your absence is a sound, but I am learning to change the station. I remember the first time you held my hand. It was warm and sure and real. It was a promise written in skin, a covenant, a seal. I traced the lines of your palm, the map of your life. I thought I was reading our future, our children, our wife. But your hand was a fiction, a novel I wrote in my head. The warmth was my imagination, the promise was left unsaid. You held my hand, but you didn't mean it the way I thought you did. Your fingers interlocked with mine, but your heart was always hid. Your hand was a fiction, a story I told myself. You were just being polite, just offering help across a crowded room. Just a casual, friendly gesture, and I turned it into a saga, epic, a vesture of our love. Your hand was a fiction, a character in my novel. You were just passing through my chapter. I thought you were the whole novel. Your hand was a fiction, and I was the author of the lie. I wrote our love story, you didn't even try. I have a collection of fictions, a library of your touch. The time you brushed the hair from my face, a little too much meaning for you, a lifetime of meaning for me. The time you put your arm around my shoulder for the photograph, and I believed it was a declaration, not just a pose for the lens. The time you touched my cheek and called me a friend, and I made amends with my own heart for wanting more. I told it to be still, I told it that your touch was real, I told it that you will. Your hand was a fiction, a story I told myself. You were just being polite, just offering help across a crowded room. Just a casual, friendly gesture, and I turned it into a saga, epic, a vesture of our love. Your hand was a fiction, a character in my novel. You were just passing through my chapter. I thought you were the whole novel. Your hand was a fiction, and I was the author of the lie. I wrote our love story, you didn't even try. I'm not angry at you for not feeling what I felt. You can't control the stories that my lonely heart dealt itself. I'm angry at me for needing so badly to be loved, that I turned your casual kindness into the treasure I dreamed of. Your hand was a fiction, but the loneliness I felt was real. The longing was real. The love I gave you was real. Your hand was a fiction, but I am not a fiction. I am not a story I told myself. I am real, my love is real. Even if it wasn't returned, even if you were just passing through, my love was real, and that is not a fiction.
is the truest thing.